Hello again, everybody. This is Josh Beiser from GameWisdom.com. Welcome to a Pinball Arcade Primer. Those of you who watch my playlist and primer on Pinball FX2, this is the second pinball game that I'm going to be dedicating a playlist to, and this one is quite different. Where Zen Studios focuses on creating original tables and then putting them into the Pinball FX experience, a Pinball Arcade by Farsight Studios is all about taking classic and famous pinball tables, digitizing them, and releasing them for you to play. I believe it's available on the consoles as well as Android devices too. This is going to be the Steam version. Farsight has been doing this now for, I think, over 7 years, maybe even close to 10 years at this point, and they've become one of the premier pinball, I guess, restores or digital recreations. I'm not sure what the exact term is. I remember getting one of their versions of the Pinball Arcade for the Wii, and they've since moved on to this bigger version, making more about microtransactions and buying tables that way. We go to the tables list. You can see we got quite a selection of classic tables. From some of the big names, Bali, Williams, let's see, Gottlieb, and so on. Each table is basically been digitized down to exactly how it plays and how it would look in the arcade for you to enjoy here. They've been using the microtransaction model so you can buy tables through the seasons, which costs a pretty penny, to be honest. I think it's like $24, $25 a season, as well as they earn their money through Kickstarter to acquire the licenses to more famous tables. For instance, if we scroll down our little list here, well, you can see just how many tables there are right now. Star Trek: The Next Generation. This is considered one of the top tables of all time, as well as Terminator 2, Twilight Zone, and The Addams Family. Those tables I just mentioned were all kickstarted in order to get the licensing, and I actually spoke to one of the guys from Farsight a few years ago, talking about the challenges of actually licensing these tables and all the hurdles that they have to go through. At the time of this primer, they recently completed another Kickstarter for the Doctor Who table, which I believe will be coming at some point. There's still plenty of tables left to add. I believe they do a release of a new table every month. There's also, you can spend additional money to acquire pro versions of the tables, which lets you basically get in and change how things work and stuff like that. Other than that, I don't think there's much else to say. Again, for someone who grew up playing classic pinball tables or wants to appreciate them today without having to spend a lot of money acquiring and repairing them, the Pinball Arcade is definitely where it's at. For this series, I'm not even sure where I'm going to start. We could just start from A to Z. We could do the most popular ones first. Again, really, the sky is the limit. And as we go down the list here, another things they've added are table goals. These are little objectives you can go for mastery. There's a high score list. I don't think there is Steam integration, but I could be wrong. Let's see. I know there are leaderboards for high scores, yeah. So it does have Steam integration, that's good. And then there's high scores for every table in the game. Wow. So there is content there. There's also a challenge mode. You can also, each table has like little pamphlets and also full instructions on every aspect of the table. So if you want to learn how to master these tables, it's available in this game. Other than that, I would say the only real nitpick or problem I have with the Pinball Arcade is the fact that it is very expensive, which does put a higher bracket compared to Pinball FX2, which lets you buy tables individually, and the sets aren't too expensive. one thing I almost forgot about the Pinball Arcade that I want to mention, that the physics are a lot more, again, I hate to say realistic, because I'm sure there are pinball purists who will argue between this and Pinball X2, but I just like the feel of this game a little bit better. It feels like you can control the ball a little easier with the flippers due to how it reacts to pretty much how you hit the flipper with it, which does make it easier, I think. With Pinball X2, there were plenty of times where the ball would slam into the flipper, and instead of bouncing off it like it would if it was a real one, it just slides right down the flipper and into the drain. Again, Pinball Arcade is not about original tables. I don't think they're ever going to have, 100% original tables, although who knows, I may be proved wrong at some point. But for right now, this is all about the classic stuff. And again, growing up, I loved some of these tables. I remember playing stuff like Terminator 2 and Star Trek TNG in arcades around where I lived. So being able to get that experience, and for one thing, free, makes things a lot better. So, with that said, be sure to check out more videos of the Pinball Arcade. They should be coming soon by the time this video is posted. And as always, thanks a lot for tuning in. Be sure to like and subscribe if you'd like to see more. Leave a comment, it all helps. Check out game-wisdom.com for posts and podcasts relating to the game design industry. You can find my Q&A interview with Zen Studios, as well as my podcast interview with Farsight about the Pinball Arcade and the challenges they had with getting these IPs and the licensing involved. You can find me on Patreon under Game Wisdom, and that's where any donations will be greatly appreciated as we're trying to secure monthly funding. And of course, be sure to subscribe both on Twitch and Twitter under GW Bicer. That way you'll be alerted to whenever I do live streams or upload videos and even make posts on the site. So again, thanks a lot for tuning in to this video. Be sure to check out more pinball either on this playlist or my Pinball FX2 one real soon. Take care.